Okay, it's time to play our favorite game. Who should win? Who will win? Emmys 2024 edition. Oh, I have to say, television's really cooking. I think that television has very complex stories. I think they have really good, representation across the board. I think, I thought that the categories were really, really nice. The only weird thing, though, is that these categories, as to who's in the categories, are a mess. They're all over the place. There are things that are like some things you're like, how is that a drama and how is that a comedy? That's the only thing that's very weird. So thank you, everybody. Thank you. I see some people have just joined, and I appreciate everybody who gifted a membership. And we're going to have a really good time going through this. Now, before we talk about the specific who should wins and who will wins, first let's take a look at some of the other elements. Now, I think one thing I want to show you is nomination breakdown by show and then also by distributor. So the top there that you can see, let me get my arrow. Hold on, here it comes. Okay, so these shows here are the top category, all right? So Shogun has the most nominations with 25. Oh, Shogun has arrived. And The Bear has the next most with 23, which is actually a record for a comedy show, even though it's not a comedy. Also, it's very weird. The Bear is nominated. These are all nominations for season 2, even though season 3 just dropped and sucked. So I do wonder if that will affect the actual, the winners. I think there's a very good chance that, some people might have nominated the show, but it would, if I was voting for the Emmys, I vote for the Critics' Choice Awards in television and in the movies category. But I think that I can see that some of you are saying, oh, it shouldn't matter. But I think it would put me in the mood of, let's give it to somebody else, right? Because you're like, not good. It was not good. So, but it's FX, by the way. I have some water today. Full glass of water. So FX has both the top 2 shows. So that's mighty impressive for that service, which is actually a subsidiary of Hulu and a subsidiary of Disney+. But it's technically, it counts as a Disney. Disney has the top 3 nominations because Only Murders in the Building is their show as well. That, of course, is coming back very soon in August, but this is for the last season. True Detective, I'm so happy to see that being nominated. I really, I thought some of the episodes were a little weak, but overall I really liked that. And then, of course, The Crown, with its final season, is getting some recognition as well. now, there's a couple, right here, there are a couple other shows. But I have this separate grouping here because I'm very impressed with Prime Video's ability to get in here. They not only have Fallout, but Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and I think that's really exciting for them as a distributor. So, it's long been the Netflix, HBO, Apple TV, Hulu competition here, but the fact that Prime Video is now becoming competitive, I think it's wonderful. I think competition is best for the consumer, and so I'm really, really happy to see. The Boys didn't get any nominations, but I think that it didn't qualify because there was such a long break between the last 2 seasons. I think it missed this window. So no The Boys. But I don't believe that it qualified because there had not been a season during this period. Loki qualified, though. We're going to talk about Snubs in a minute. And also, I want to say, I'm so happy that the Gilded Age did well. Isn't that just wonderful? That makes me just so happy that the Gilded Age has been recognized. I think that's excellent. Very, very happy about that. I think that's a wonderful show. They moved it off of Mondays to Sunday. And so the fact that it's finally getting recognition is very exciting to me as a mega fan of that show. Then as for nominations by distributor, We have Netflix back in the lead with 107. You're like, how is that possible? The Crown is down there. But, they made it up with a whole bunch of shows. Ripley, The Crown, a bunch of other stuff. Yes, HBO and Max are the same, basically. HBO is third place. Look at FX, just a smidge ahead. But that's very impressive. All right, so one good thing before we get to the snubs is that, yes, X-Men 97 is nominated for Best Animated Series. However, before we get too excited, it's just never easy because it's going up against Blue Eye Samurai. That is, to me, maybe Shogun might drink some of Blue Eye Samurai's milkshake. And, X-Men 97's a little bit fresher, a little bit more, new. That's exciting. But we'll see what they decide to do. I think this is really hard. I think between these two shows, I wouldn't be tempted to vote for Blue Eye Samurai, to be honest with you. X-Men 97 is an excellent show, but Blue Eye Samurai I felt was just very, it was just so artistic and so strong. Although it is extremely similar to Shogun, but this is tough. This is really hard. I don't know if Beau DeMayo, is he nominated personally? We'll see what happens. We'll see. All right. All right. So let's see what happens. Now let's talk about some of the snubs. There were just a few snubs, not a lot. I'd say the biggest snub is Loki. Loki really, and especially because they tried so hard to get the nominations. Sometimes, genre content doesn't always get noticed, but I think that's changing. Look at Fallout. Although it seems the Academy likes video game shows because they like The Last of Us too. But Loki, I thought was a very strong show. Tom Hiddleston, for him not to get nominated, I think is tough. He really was pushing hard for a nomination for himself. I would have liked to have seen it in there, but it did not happen. Then the other snub, this was a pretty big one. John Mulaney, Everybody's in LA. His talk show got snubbed. This was considered a frontrunner by many in the industry, but perhaps it was a little too niche. We'll see. We'll see, what this means for John Mulaney long term, but it's a little bit of an obstacle. It slows down the momentum of his career a little bit. I think this would have been it would have been really nice for him to have gotten this recognition, but he did not. He was snubbed. Then that's right, no Emma Stone for The Curse. Nothing for The Curse at all. But I don't believe it got anything, but none of the major nominations for The Curse. I didn't even bother to watch this show. I do think that Emma Stone is picking stuff that's a little bit too bizarre to a degree. Sometimes it works out, like with Poor Things. But I don't know if that should be her new thing. Some people had felt she would get back-to-back, television and movies. But it didn't happen. So this was a snub. And then also The Gentleman. I didn't really see this happening, but this was a frontrunner on a lot of shortlists. A lot of people felt that Theo James was in particular going to get nominated and that The Gentleman would be in comedy. But it ended up not happening. So that's what happened. I don't know if Frasier really is a snub in my opinion. I think it's just too weak. I think that's old school thinking. I don't believe that Frasier is a snub, but some people are including him. Okay, so let's go over the nominations. We're going to go through the nominations, and of course, we'll be playing our favorite game, Who Should Win and Who Will Win. All right, so some of the categories aren't as crowded as usual this year because of lack of submissions. And, there's no Last of Us. Succession, of course, is done. A lot of the shows that usually take up a lot of the air in the room are not here. It feels like we just had the Emmys because, of course, it had been delayed. Now, this is a pretty nice category. I can't believe, I've never watched Slow Horses, but people keep putting it in here. And The Morning Show, always very popular, The Morning Show. I do not care for that, but voters in the industry really like it. By the way, I don't feel Fallout is a drama. I think tonally it's a comedy. I don't know why Fallout is in this section. Also, I gotta tell you, Mr. and Mrs. Smith also doesn't seem like a drama to me. I mean, to me that was very comedic. So I don't quite understand some of these nominations. However, I think we all can agree that the show that should win is Shogun. And I think we all agree that it will win. I think without a question. So everybody else here, it's just very nice for them to get nominated, but Shogun will almost definitely take this. It has the most nominations. It's the most nominated show out of in every category. It's 25, and I think we all agree that that's who it should be. So yeah, so sorry everybody else, but it's going to be Shogun. All right. Now, next category, we're going to do them in order. So we're going to start with drama, then comedy, then limited series. All right, the next is a lead actor in a drama series. Oh, isn't it nice that Idris Elba got recognized for Hijack? He did just such a wonderful job. And this is a very strong category across the board. Oh, I like everybody in this category. Even Dominic West in The Crown. I thought he was excellent. I thought he did an absolutely wonderful job. I don't watch Slow Horses, so I guess that's nice that Gary Oldman's there. And good old Walton Goggins, always getting recognition. But again, there's no question that it will be Hiroyuki Sanada. He should win for Shogun, and he will win. It's definitely going to be him. No question he is going to take this category. And that's really exciting, considering all the crappy roles in Hollywood that he's gotten over the years. So I'm really happy for him. He totally deserves this. And he produced this show. He was one of the producers on it. He really, good for him. He's been working for a very long time. And I'm just really pleased to see him here. I mean, he's a Scorpion in Mortal Kombat. And I think there was very limited roles that were available for, Asian actors, particularly out of Asia, in Hollywood, which is sad. And so I'm so pleased that that's changing up. All right, then, of course, the next category is lead actress in a drama series. Look at the Gilded Age. And look, I wonder how Phoebe Waller-Bridge feels for dropping out of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And there's Maya Erskine, her replacement, getting an Emmy nomination. Totally deserved, by the way. She did a phenomenal job in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. And in any other year, she'd be competitive. But it's Shogun. Anna Sawai should win, and she will win. Without question. Definitely Shogun is going to take all these categories. It's poor Imelda Staunton. It's her final year playing the Queen. Oh, well. Anna Sawai was this show, just like Sanada was. I think that's just, it's done. It's done. Get ready. Clear your shelf. All right, then, supporting actor in a drama series. Now, this gets a little, and we have two from Shogun. Oh, they're going to split the Shogun vote, right? So there is, so let me see here. Let's see. So look at all those morning show nominations. John Hamm, his career's making a little bit of a comeback. Okay, so Takahiro Hira is the bad guy in Shogun. The guy who was in the council causing all the problems? That's who that is. I can't believe he got nominated for that. That's crazy to me. I thought there were better people who I would have nominated from Shogun in supporting. What about Cosmo Jarvis? Cosmo Jarvis is like, I was in the show, thank you very much. He was good. But here's the thing how I feel about this. I feel this category is a little bit more open. But I do think, thanks, Mark. Thank you very much. But I think that as for who I think should win, I think it's Tadanobu Asano, who was like the guy who was like making a lot of side deals on Shogun. He was incredible. I think he was great. He's also had to play a bunch of crap roles in Hollywood for decades, and he just knocked it out of the park. Will he win, though? Will he win? win? Everybody's talking about John Hamm a lot, I must say. But I think he'll win. I'm gonna hope that I'm gonna have faith that because everyone's so in love with Shogun, that they're gonna go with Tadanobu Asano. I feel like he added so much to the show. He was really funny. I just don't understand how I think he was a big part of why the show worked. So I don't understand why he wouldn't be there. That's right, Michael Macenas. John Hamm is also nominated for Fargo. So that's why I said he's having a very good year. All right, then next up, Emmys supporting actress in a drama series. All right, so now it starts to get a little bit more interesting because there's nobody from Shogun in this category. All right, so Christine Baranski for The Gilded Age. She's like the Maggie Smith of that show. Greta Lee, of course, who got snubbed for an Oscar, morning show nomination. You've got 2 for The Crown, Elizabeth Debicki and Leslie Manville, who was phenomenal, I must say, in this final season of The Crown. She deserves that nomination. The episode where her character passed away was one of the most traumatic things I've ever seen. And then you've got 3 morning show. Oh, people sure love the morning show. My goodness. The greatest show you're not watching. Who do I think should win? I gotta tell you, for me, I like Christine Baranski on The Gilded Age quite a bit. I'm Kay Walton. I'm glad you guys really like Nicole. A lot of you like Nicole Bari on Morning Show, but I don't watch that show, so we'll see. I'm not familiar with her work there. I'm gonna say, to me, it's between Elizabeth Debicki and Leslie Manville for The Crown for who do I think should win. And as good as Leslie Manville is, I'm gonna have to go with Elizabeth Debicki for The Crown. And she's already won a lot, though. But I have to say, I thought that she did a wonderful job making Princess Diana, I think, to anybody who was not sure, I think there was a lot of drama around Diana. I think Elizabeth Debicki brought her down to earth and made her seem very real. I thought it was really an impressive performance. As for who will win, you guys are making me feel maybe Nicole Bari might get it. I'm not sure who will win. I think this category is pretty open. I'm going to put the will win up there. I think Debicki just won the Emmy, so she doesn't necessarily have to take it again. She already won for the previous season. So I think it's very possible that somebody else could end up taking this. So I think this category is actually pretty wide open. All right, next. So then also, they have another category in Emmys, and that's guest actor. Obviously, it's not in a limited series, but for drama and comedy, they have guest actor and actress. So guest actor, will Shogun take it again with Nestor Carbonell? I thought he was great. Mr. and Mrs. Smith obviously had lots of guest stars. This isn't a new category, Danny. They always have this category. Jonathan Pryce for Slow Horses. He's also nominated, obviously, for The Crown. And then Tracy Letts for Winning Time. I'm so happy to see Winning Time get some notice. By the way, Tracy Letts is married to Carrie Coon over on The Gilded Age. Nestor Carbonell was really good. I liked Tracy Letts, though, quite a bit. I think, although I don't know if he was so good this season, I'm being honest with you, I think Nestor Carbonell should win. I mean, he really popped in his scenes on Shogun. I thought he did a wonderful job. As for who will win, again, I think this is anybody's category. I think it's really hard to choose somebody here. I think that, I think you're going to see a lot of splitting of the votes. Usually you're like, it's down to 2 or even down to 3. But here, I feel almost anybody here has a shot at this win. All right. But I think Nestor Carbonell should take it because he was great. All right. Then, here we go. Guest actress in a drama series. Again, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, tons of guest stars. So they have Sarah Paulson, Parker Posey, and then Michaela Cole also. Sarah Paulson, I didn't think did a particularly good job here. So I don't know. I guess she's just very popular. And then Claire Foy, of course, returned just like for a smidge in the final season of The Crown. Blink and you miss it. Blink and you miss it. I see a lot of Parker Posey love. Michaela Cole was very good. But yeah, I'd have to agree. I guess in this category, I would maybe go with Parker Posey. She did a really nice job. I would agree. I thought she was excellent. As for who will win, I think it will be between Parker Posey, but also potentially Michaela Cole. Michaela Cole is very popular in the industry, so I could see her getting the votes. So I think it's between Cole and Posey for Smith. That would be my guess for who actually will win. All right, now let's move over into the comedy section. All right, woo, look at all these nominees. Look at all the love for Palm Royale on Apple TV. I might actually have to watch that show now. But yeah, I thought, so this is like an amazing lineup. Very crowded, very, very crowded. Hacks wins all the time. So does The Bear. So, but to me, honestly, I'd like to maybe, in Abbott Elementary, I mean, these shows have already gotten their flowers. I'd love to see some other shows maybe get some recognition. I think that Curb Your Enthusiasm is coming off of its weakest season. So, What We Do in the Shadows is a nice show. People are very happy to see Reservation Dogs get noticed. I think for who I think should win, I'd love to see Only Murders in the Building finally get recognition. It's always nominated, never actually wins. I think it's a really good show. I do think that season 3 was a little weak. It wasn't its strongest, but I think, it's a good show, and I think that it deserves more recognition. But as for who will win, I agree with you. I think it will be The Bear because season 2 was excellent. Season 2 was so good. That's why The Bear won all of its last Emmys, because everybody was voting after watching season 2, even though season 1 was the one that had been nominated. Everybody was like, oh, The Bear is so good. And you have to be like, but that's not the season that was nominated. And you're like, what? These voting rules are ridiculous. So I think I would like to see Only Murders win, but I think that it will be The Bear. Okay. Alrighty. Now let's go into the nitty-gritty of this. Lead actor in a comedy series. So Matt Berry, What We Do in the Shadows, Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Look at that. Both Steve Martin and Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building once again. Jeremy Allen White for The Bear, already won. And then Pharaoh Wunatai for Reservation Dogs, who, by the way, had a killer headshot on this morning's presentation. I was like, wow, that guy brought his A game. All right, so who should win? Again, I thought Larry David had his weakest season. I agree with some of you that it really kind of should be Martin Short. He had a wonderful season 3. I thought that his character had the most growth and the most exploration. I loved his romance with Meryl Streep's character. I thought he just did an absolutely wonderful job. So I'd love to see Martin Short take it. As for who will take it, this becomes a little bit more complex. It is Larry David's final season, so I could see Larry David taking it. And then, of course, they just love Jeremy Allen White. And he did do a very nice job in season 2. So I'm going to guess that Larry David takes it. That's just going to be my guess. I would like it to. I think Martin Short has a legitimate chance, by the way. But Larry David, it's his final season. I think he's an icon in the industry. I think maybe there's a chance that he could win. Although, tell that to Bob Odenkirk. All right. Then next up, lead actress in a comedy series. So happy that Selena Gomez got recognized. For too long, it was just Martin Short and Steve Martin getting nominations, but not poor Selena Gomez. Ayo Edebiri, she's nominated again. Fantastic, phenomenal actress. Quinta Brunson, both those actresses have won, though, already. Kristen Wiig, there is life, both two SNL actresses post SNL with both Maya Rudolph and Kristen Wiig. But then, of course, Jean Smart for Hacks. I gotta tell ya, Jean Smart. I think that Deborah Vance is an incredible, incredible character, and I think that Hacks is just a great show. I believe this is for Hacks Season 3, which was an absolutely phenomenal season of television, and I just think Jean Smart did a good job. Even Cheryl Lee Ralph called out how great she thought Jean Smart was this morning in the announcements with the nominations. Yes, that's true. Jean Smart has also won before, but I think she's coming off a really incredible season. So we'll see, though. We'll see. All right, so the next up in comedy, All right, supporting actor in a comedy series. Ooh, all right. So Lionel Boyce is the pastry chef, by the way, in The Bear. So that's really wonderful to see him get recognition. As well as Paul W. Downs, who plays Deborah Vance's agent on Hacks. Just absolutely fantastic. So very big fan of his work. Nice to see him getting recognized. Paul Rudd, he was only okay, I thought, in Only Murders. And you guys all know I'm a huge Bowen Yang fan. I love Bowen Yang. Love, love, love him. Now, any other time, if it hadn't been for the episode Forks, I wouldn't think that Ebon Moss Barak would take it. Because, he just already won. But the Forks episode is so incredible. I really kind of have to give it to him again. I mean, season 2 was so his year. I mean, his season. He just did an incredible job with that. So I think it's going to be him, to be honest with you. I'd love it to be Bowen Yang. I'd love it. Paul W. Downs is great. I think, Tyler James Williams obviously does a great job in Abbott Elementary. But, Forks, if you haven't seen The Bear Season 2, the Forks episode, it's one of the best hours of television, or half hours of television ever produced. It's really incredible. All right. Then we've got guest actors in comedy. Supporting. First supporting. All right, supporting. Carol Burnett for Palm Royale, right? Lisa Colon-Zayas for The Bear. I think she's wonderful. Hannah Einbinder for Hacks. Such a great performance. Then Janelle James and Cheryl Lee Ralph again for Abbott Elementary. And Meryl Streep for Only Murders in the Building. I agree with Charlie. I got to tell you, while this is an excellent list, and I'm very tempted to go with Hannah Einbinder, I got to go with Meryl Streep. I thought that Meryl Streep did such a good job in Only Murders in the Building Season 3. She was so game. She just did an incredible job with the song that they gave her. I thought she did a really, really great job. And I think it's so cool that Meryl Streep at this stage in her life and her career is willing to do Only Murders in the Building, this little comedy show on Hulu. So I think there's a chance that she will win, to be honest. I think they're going to want to encourage more people of that caliber to come back to television and do stuff. And that's right, J.A., she's coming back for another season. Season 4, and I just think Meryl Streep did a really great job. There's always a chance Carol Burnett might win. I mean, Carol Burnett's also a legend. But I haven't seen Palm Royale yet, although I'm probably going to watch it now that it has so many freaking nominations. I'm always looking for stuff to watch. Okay. Then the next supporting is now we're at guest actor. Okay, guest actor in a comedy series. We're going to get to guest actress in a second because there's no question who's winning guest actress. So it's very nice to see, Matthew Broderick was very funny for Only Murders in the Building. Bob Odenkirk, will he win here? Will Poulter, all these great Bear performances. All of them are good. John Bernthal, excellent. But I got to tell you, who do I think should win? I'm going to go with Ryan Gosling for Saturday Night Live. Probably the best Saturday Night Live, I think one of the best I've ever seen. It was consistently funny across the board, and I thought that Ryan Gosling did an incredible job. He had just so many funny sketches. It was so good. And that, of course, is the one that includes the now very famous Beavis and Butthead sketch, where everybody just lost their minds. So I think he should win. And as for who will win, I got to tell you, I think it's going to be Ryan Gosling as well. It was just so funny. I would be surprised if he didn't win, really, and especially because guest actress for a comedy is going to The Bear right there. So I think it would be wonderful if he won. Saturday Night Live actually has a lot of nominations, so it would be nice for them to actually win one. Now here, this one, it's over. Jamie Lee Curtis for The Bear. As people were watching the episode, they were like, "Oh, make room for your Emmy." And in fact, last year during the Emmys, everybody was like, where's Jamie Lee Curtis? And people had to keep reminding everybody and being like, oh, no, this is for season 1. So Jamie Lee Curtis, who, by the way, I did not like her return in season 2. Now, you might think that might hurt her chances a little bit, but I don't think that it will. I think it was so incredible with the fake nails and the crazy wig that they gave her. I mean, she was incredible. It was one of the best performances. She had a whole long episode. a Christmas episode. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. And then she came back at the end of the season and still did a great job. I mean, it just doesn't get any better. It was just amazing. That's why I'm saying it's season 2 Mystic. But, the current season affects voting. But I think she was just so good that you just can't take it away from her. I just think there's no chance that she's not going to win. Because it was that good. All right, now let's move over to limited or anthology series. This was Shogun's former category, but they want to keep going, so they hightailed it out of there to drama, where, of course, I think when Shogun have dominated in this section, I think going up against Baby Reindeer might have been a little bit difficult. Although I gotta tell you, I don't think Baby Reindeer is necessarily a slam dunk. I don't think it is. I think that it has a very strong chance, but I think that the nominations they might feel are enough. Now, in Lessons in Chemistry, you should just be happy it's nominated. I loved Ripley. Out of all these shows, I think Ripley is the best, but I don't think it's going to win. Maybe it'll win some of the smaller categories like directing for some of the episodes. I would love to see that, but I don't think that it's going to happen. As for who should win, in my opinion, I would go with Ripley or True Detective Night Country. That's who I feel should take it. I like both of those shows. I think they're the best on this list. I really liked Fargo. I think Fargo was excellent, but I don't think it was as good as Ripley or True Detective Night Country. I think those two shows took more risks, and I think they were a little bit more artistic. As for who will win, I think True Detective has a real shot, and I think Fargo has a genuine shot because it has so many nominations. But I do think it's going to be Baby Reindeer, probably. I think Baby Reindeer was such a cultural zeitgeist. I think there's a very strong chance it'll win, So I think that's what I think for this. But I do think you could be surprised here. I don't think that Baby Reindeer has it locked down the way that Shogun does in the drama category. All right, then, lead actor in a limited or anthology series. So will Richard Gadd win here? I don't know about him winning here. I don't think Tom Hollander's going to win for Capote. I'd love to see Andrew Scott be taken seriously here. I mean, he carried the entire show. He's almost the only actor in most of it. But I don't know. If I see for acting, I honestly feel like supporting for the actress in Baby Reindeer is their best shot at an award. Let's see here. I think, as for who I think should win, I would go with Andrew Scott for Ripley. I thought he did a phenomenal job. I thought he carried an entire show. I thought he did a really great job. As for who will win, I think it's going to be Richard Gadd or maybe John I think it's going to be Richard Gadd. This seems a little bit, more possible. I think Andrew Scott has a chance, but I think it's probably going to be Richard Gadd. All right. Then we've got lead actress in a limited or anthology series or movie. Sofia Vergara made history in this category. First Latina or Hispanic actress nominated for lead here. She did a wonderful job. Now, all these actresses are very good. For me, without a doubt, it should be Jodie Foster. I thought Jodie Foster did an incredible job in True Detective. In my opinion, acting doesn't get better than that. I thought it was electric. I thought it was exciting. I thought it was just so good. But as for who will win, I think Jodie Foster has a real shot at actually winning, but I agree with a lot of you that Sofia might take it. I think Sofia Vergara not only did a wonderful job, and we already know that Jodie Foster is a great actress, but Sofia Vergara really showed a different side of herself. I mean, for decades, she was on Modern Family doing comedy, but yet here she was believably playing this drug queenpin. So I think it's between Sofia Vergara or Jodie Foster. Both are excellent. I would be happy with either one of them winning, All right, then, supporting actor in a limited series or anthology series. This one is very up in the air. I think it's great that John Hawkes got nominated for True Detective. He had a very interesting role, and I love Lamorne Morris in Fargo Will Break Your Heart. He was great. And Robert Downey Jr., of course, just won an Oscar. But I don't think he's going to win here. I think not enough people paid attention to The Sympathizer. And Jonathan Bailey. It's so nice for Jonathan Bailey, obviously. To be honest with you, I like a lot of these people, and I think they all have a shot at winning. I think every single one of them does. So we'll see who actually wins. You think it might be Treat Williams, who, posthumously, Michael? That's a solid guess. But I thought that season 2 was really weak. I didn't even finish it. All right, then for supporting actress, Lily Gladstone, by the way. How nice for her that she got another nomination. I think that's really going to help her career, and it makes it, her like an Oscar-nominated actress, an awards caliber actress. That's going to really help her, book future work. I got to tell you, this is a very nice category. I thought Callie Reese, by the way, was great in True Detective Night Country. I thought she just did a wonderful job on that show opposite Jodie Foster. And she held her own opposite Jodie Foster. But I got to tell you, even though I didn't even watch the show, I think it should be Jessica Gunning for Baby Reindeer. I think that was an incredibly difficult role to play. I think the show doesn't work if that stalker character doesn't work. And so I think it's Jessica Gunning. I think Jessica Gunning is Baby Reindeer's best shot at a win. Over series, over actor. I think that she's the best chance for the show. All right. Then I think we have television movie, final category that they did graphics for. They didn't do graphics for animated series. I was like, what the heck, Emmys? That's why we talked about it first. So Emmys, television movie. I can't believe the Jerry Seinfeld movie got nominated. That's crazy to me, Unfrosted. Maybe just because of all the star power. And I know a lot of you are big fans of Red, White, and Royal Blue. But I got to tell you, honestly, I think that Quiz Lady is the best of these movies. I didn't see a lot of them, but I thought that Quiz Lady was so good. Quiz Lady could have played in theaters. That's how good it was. I really, really liked it. So I think that there's a very good, that's who I would pick. But as for who will win, well, I think the Quiz Lady's got a great shot. I think that so does Red, White, and Royal Blue. Also, Monk, people really like Tony Shalhoub. I like Tony Shalhoub, but Scoop was good, Steven. That's nice to hear. So maybe Scoop has a shot. I think that I agree this is kind of a little bit of a weak category. So I think that anybody here could take it, But I think it should be Quiz Lady, which was a great, 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 great show. All right, so hold on. Those are the nominations. Let me put it back up, the Emmy poster. Does anybody have any questions about the Emmys? Don't ask me about the Avengers. Because this is an Emmys live stream. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but this is an Emmys live stream. So does anybody have any questions about the Emmys? That is a pretty nice graphic, Charlie Michael. I agree. You guys don't have to apologize, but I just don't want you to waste your question. That's pretty funny, Dreads. But yeah, that's a very nice graphic. I think that is very pretty. And, the Emmys, of course, as you can see, are Sunday, September 15th on ABC, and then the next day on Hulu. Oh, that's an interesting hiccup. They are going to force you to watch it on network television. That's very interesting to me. That means a lot of people shall be watching it on social media. John says, Selena Gomez is having a banner year. This Emmy nom and Amelia Perez is having awards traction. Oscar nom? For Selena Gomez? I don't think so. But I'm very happy for her recognition here. No, I am Gems. Loki got snubbed. Jareem said, would an Emmy win for X-Men 97 bring in some more viewers? Not necessarily, but it would be obviously really nice for that show because it was a little weak in the viewership department. So it would certainly help it to have the awards. Pearl says, do you think the boys could get nominated for an Emmy next year or will it be rejected? Pearl, I think that the boys has a very good shot next year. I don't know if for series, because some people are saying season 4 was weak, But I think that the acting have strong categories with Anthony Starr, for sure. I think Anthony Starr, I would be hard for me to see. It would be a huge snub if he wasn't nominated. I'm not saying he's going to win, but I think he should be nominated. And then I do think that Simon Pegg, I think, is a strong contender for a guest spot for his work as well. Let's see here. Sean, Juno Temple getting work out of nominations out of Ted Lasso. It's really great to see people move beyond a show and not just be defined by that show. Danny wants to point out that Ella Purnell got snubbed for Fallout. A lot of great actors on Fallout, but only Walton Goggins got a nomination, although he, of course, had the most dynamic role. Fallout is going to have a season 2, so I think she's got a good shot the next time around. Joyce Invincible got nominated, I believe, for Sterling K. Brown's voice work. That got like one nomination there. Michael says, who determines a show's category? I believe that it's up to the distributor to submit for the category. I think that I think the Academy can say no, but I think obviously they don't really want to fight too much with the distributors. But I believe that you get to choose which category you want to submit into, and then only in extreme circumstances do they maybe reject what you've decided. Wiki Nomad, that was very generous of you. Thank you. Yes, MR Negro. Shogun Season 2, they haven't said for 100%, but they are exploring Shogun Season 2, and Hulu basically said, it should get nominated. It's going to happen. Charlie says, how valuable do you think that an Emmy nomination is compared to, in terms of capital, the Emmy to the Oscar? I think if you are somebody who wins awards, it is valuable because everybody likes to stack the odds in their project, be it on film or television, being well received by critics and the media. So I think for sure, I think that has influenced the casting for Fantastic Four. So I think it's very, very important. I think because look how Ayo Adebri's spot is blowing up because of that. I think any kind of award that you can win, even the nominations, are extremely helpful to your career. Hazel, that is too bad that Interview with the Vampire didn't get any nominations. But I think that might be on AMC because you're seeing The Walking Dead not really getting a lot of attention either. I think clearly, they don't have the awards Rolodex that they should. Adam Sphere, I believe that Anthony Starr has been nominated in the past. Let me just check. I know that he's been nominated for... No, he's never been nominated. A Critics' Choice, we nominate him all the time because he's so great. But no, he has never been nominated for an Emmy. That's disgusting. I'm disgusted. I think, Danny, it's more that they don't like genre content. Because to be honest with you, I think that Tom Hiddleston deserved a nomination for his work on Loki. I'm afraid I haven't gotten a chance to watch Fellow Travelers. Britt, Sofia Vergara, Selena Gomez is nominated, so, there is more than one. We'll just do a few more questions, and then I must go work on my Acolyte breakdown. Charlie says, I hope they have skits. Well, I hope they do better than last year. Last year they had the sets, they recreated sets from famous television shows. And the award ceremony last year was bad. I preferred the one the year before that Kenan Thompson hosted. He did a great job. That was one of the best awards shows I've ever seen, actually. And I was excited for the Emmys last year because of that. And then it was really a stinker last year. Stinker. I don't believe they've announced the host just yet, Dreads. The Emmys, Keenan did a great job. All right. Well, I better get going. I can see you guys have other news on your mind as well. Thank you for going over this with me. I had a lot of fun. And I will see you later with the breakdown for The Acolyte. And then as for other news, it will likely be covered tomorrow on a live stream. Okay, everybody.